अति मोरा गौरचंद्र गगन मोरा नित्यानंदा अति मोरा गौरचंद्र प्रण मोरा युगल किशोर अद्वैत आचार्य बाला गदधर मुरकुल अद्वैत आचार्य बाला गदधर मुरकुल नर हरि मिलापै हो धन मोरा नित्यानंद पति मोरा गौरा चंद्र धन मोरा नित्यानंद वैष्णवेर पद धूली काहे मोरा स्नान केली वैष्णवेर पद धूली काहे मोरा स्नान केली तर्पण मोरा वैष्णवेर नामा विचार कोरिय माने भक्ति रस आस्वादने विचार कोरिय माने भक्ति रस आस्वादने मध्यस्थ श्री भागवत पुराणं मोरा नित्यानंद पति मोरा गौरचंद्र धन मोरा नित्यानंद वैष्णवेर उच्चिष्ट काहे मोरा मुननिष्ठ वैष्णवेर उच्चिष्ट काहे मोरा मुननिष्ठ वैष्णवेर नामिते उल्लास वृंदावने कबूतारा काहे मोरा मोरा गेला वृंदावने कबूतारा काहे मोरा मोरा गेला कोही बिना नरोत्तम दास कोहे बिना नरोत्तम दास धन मोरा नित्यानंद पति मोरा गौरा चंद्र धन मोरा नित्यानंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय हरे कृष्ण।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रतां सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वैष्णवानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यास ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैषिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गुरतिशे नमः। नमो ब्रह्मण्याय देवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठापृतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिकृपातङ्गं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदेवतारिणं श्री परमानंद माधवं श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य ईश्वर ओम अपवित्र पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सा बाह्यभ्यन्तरं शुचे। श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for giving me an opportunity, another opportunity on this auspicious day of Ekadasi. So Ekadasi is a day of austerities. So austerities, we should do austerities by mind, by words, and by actions. So in the in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says austerity of speech has four components: reading Shastras, and Anudvekarakvakyam, Satyam, Priyam, Hitam. So it should be Priyam and Hitam. It should be beneficial. Our words should be beneficial, and it should be very pleasing. And most importantly, and the foremost thing is, it should not create disturbance in the mind of the others. So I pray to the Lord Sri Krishna, to the entire Parampara, Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas who are assembled over here, so that good words come out of the mouth, which is beneficial to all of you, which is very pleasing, and especially I should not cause any disturbances to any one of you. Please forgive me if I do commit any offenses or mistakes. Hare Krishna. So without any without any delay, we'll start our session. So today, so we will see 24th chapter of the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting the song of Lord Shiva or Rudra Gita. So already last time Sri Gopal Prabhu has covered 17 slokas of this. So we'll go fast in it. For this lecture, I will be mostly relying on the Bhagat Subodhini and I have a commentaries of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So we have seen the 15 in the first 15 slokas. We have seen the genealogical line of the Prithu Maharaj. After that, Prachetas meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead when Lord Shiva speaks about the Rudra Gita. So first, before that, Vidura have questions to Maitreya. So what did Lord Shiva, being pleased, speak when Prachetas meet him? So there was a conversation between the Prachetas and Shiva being happening. So Vidura was very eager. So what did they discuss about? So the qualities of a devotee are such that when there is two devotees are speaking, one should be very eager to hear about it. When two devotees are speaking, we should not interfere into that. Instead of that, we should listen what the two devotees are what speaking about. So that is the quality of a devotee, and which Vidura is showcasing here. And second question he is asking, how did they get this rare darshan? So, he- having darshan of Lord Shiva is very rare. So having Shiva is a very great devotee of Krishna. Vaishnavanam yata Shambho. So, so we all know in Bhagavad Gita that bahunanam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadete vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sa durlabha. So such a one who is surrendered to a Krishna is a devotee, and having the darshan of the devotee is very rare because we can find only few devotees. It's very rare. Bahunanam janmanam ante. So out of that rarity, how could Prachetas meet such a great devotee, Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva is self-satisfied, but to help people accomplish their material desires, he manifests in the material world, accompanied by his dangerous energies like goddess Kali and Durga. So we all know the devotee is always self-satisfied. He doesn't have any material desires. The only desire of a devotee is to serve Lord Sri Krishna. So, uh, the role model, the foremost of the devotee is Lord Sri Shiva. Lord Shiva, naturally he is self-satisfied Asutosh. He doesn't have any other desires, material desire, except to serve Lord Sri Krishna. So, but he is playing the role of a devata. So he has a responsibility of playing the role of a devata. So what does a devata do? So when he gets pleased, he goes to that particular devotee and he gives the material desires. So if any devotee has a material desires, he appears before them and he gives the material desires. Just like he gave to Banashura, that's like Ravana. We see so many asuras, they worship Shiva and get the boons from him. So it's a duty of Lord Shiva to give the boons. So he accompanies it, he comes to this material world with his energies, like dangerous energies like Kali and Durga. So we recently celebrated Dasara, Durgashtami. So Durga comes here to fulfill the material desires. Is one of the activities of Durga. The main role of Durga and Shiva is to make us Krishna consciousness. So Krishna holds the sword, Adi Devika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, all the things. So using those things, they Durga, Kali and Shiva makes a people Krishna consciousness. So to this, Maitreya replies, the Prachetas performing their father's instructions on their heads traveled westward to perform austerities. So, so we all know that Prachetas they came to perform these austerities on the instruction of their father. So they were to get married. They were to create progeny. So before getting married or before creating progeny, so these people used to go and perform austerities. They made austerities and they would become self-realized. After becoming self-realized, they would go into the grihastha life and do the activities. So like that, Prachetas also carried their instruction of the father and came to perform austerities. So then Maitreya was describing about the description about the lake, what is happening, where the situation is happening. So the lake was very calm, composed. We all like calm, scenic places. So many of us went to the yatra recently, where the location was very calm. There is no disturbances, so that we can perform our sadhana very peacefully. So this lake was very huge, beautiful lake, which was calm like a mind of a saint. So just here, analogy of a saint is given. So a devotee's mind is very calm like a peaceful lake. Its inhabitants appeared very peaceful. So what are the inhabitants? All the small fishes, all the inhabitants of the pond were very happy. So when our mind is very peaceful like this lake, all the instructions. So all the thoughts within this mind lake is very peaceful. Today's world is filled of the Kali Yuga is filled with hypocrisy and quarrel because our minds are very disturbed. So in the disturbed pond, we cannot see what is happening inside very clearly. So that's why our mind should be very clear like a pond. The lotuses and the birds were being explained. It was filled with various beautiful lotuses and sweet sounding birds. The atmosphere is very festive. So just like that's like any festival organized by Janmashtami or Radhayatra, what we do, how much festival atmosphere we have, that much festival atmosphere is there in that near that lake. So there were also trees, creepers, and humming bees, and the wind scattered lotus pollen everywhere. There were celestial music. Prajadas became very amazed hearing the attractive celestial songs. So the atmosphere is very conducive to perform, but to perform the austerities there because there is nothing going to be disturbed. So here, why Maitreya is explaining about the lake? He is explaining about the entire environment there? So what is the purpose? Directly, he should have gone to what does the Lord Shiva speaks about? What is Rudra Gita? So instead of that, we are speaking. Maitreya was speaking about the entire lake. So why this is required is so the place where the discussion about Sri Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna is happening, is worth is like a dham. So we all go to next month. Many of us are going to Puri Dham. So many of other people are going to different yatras. So knowing about the dham is very much important. So dham is nothing but a place where the devotees speak about the Krishna. So here, this is the environment where Lord Shiva, the greatest devotee, is speaking about Lord Shri Krishna to the Prachetas. That's why having the discussion about the place is also very important. It's none other than so Krishna and Dham is not different from Krishna. Then Shiva appears. At that time, they saw Lord Shiva. So at that time, the Lord Shiva appears there along with his associate emerged from the lake. They all offered their obeisances. All the Prachetas offered their obeisances to Shiva. Then Shiva was pleased with the Prachetas because of their knowledge of Dharma and their good conduct. So naturally, so any devotee has a good conduct. So devotees generally have the good conduct and they follow the Dharma. So when the Dharma is followed and the conduct is there, and one becomes a devotee of Lord Shri Krishna, immediately Lord Shiva is also pleased with them. Because Lord Shiva is pleased with that devotee Prachetas, he appeared before them. Shiva said, "Good fortune unto you. I know your plans and have come here to give you mercy." So Shiva knows why Prachetas are doing austerities there. They are doing austerities only to get the favor of Sri Krishna. So in the Vrindavan also, gopis used to do worship Katyayani Vrata. So why did they do Katyayani Vrata? Didn't they know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead? They knew. Of course, from the Leela perspective, they forget that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. It's a it's a Maya. So it's the internal potency of the Krishna acting upon the gopis. But why they are doing Katyayani Vrata is to get Krishna as their husband, as their Saka. There is no other reason. So all the devotees they worship the other demigods only to get the favor of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Shiva knows why Prachetas are worshipping are doing the austerities. To give his mercy, he has come before them. So before getting the mercy of the Krishna, should get the mercy of a pure devotee who is in the line of a Shiva. So Shiva is also holding a Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami, Rudra Sampradaya. So that's why a devotee should always come in the line of a disciplic succession. So Krishna's devotee is very dear to me. Yah param brahmasa sakshat triguna jiva samannita Bhagavantam Vasudevam Prapanna Sa Priya Hime. So here Shiva is telling why he is coming before him. Prachetas. This is because he was very pleased. Krishna's devotee is very dear to him. So Shiva likes the Krishna's devotees. It's very straightforward. So there is no need to do all the other austerities to please Shiva, all those things, all the devatas. So all the devatas are inside the body of the Krishna. So when we worship Krishna as a whole, we are actually pleasing each and every devata. So anyone who is completely surrendered to Vasudeva, the control of everything is very dear to him. So we are all fortunate. We all need to be thankful to His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, to connect us to Krishna, this Sampradaya. Otherwise, without him, we would not have followed this path. We would not have followed the path of a devotion. So generally, therefore, we are all already pleasing all the devatas by doing all the services to Krishna. Attaining Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, a person fixed in Dharma for 100 births attain the post of a Brahma. So, who is qualified to get the Brahma? One who does the Dharma. All the Dharma here means Varnashrama Dharma. So, all the Varnashrama Dharma for 100 births will get a post of a Brahma. One who does all the pious activities attains Shiva, but by unalloyed devotional service, only a Vaishnava can attain Vaikuntha. So without bhakti, one cannot attain the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, Shiva, and Krishna's devotees. Therefore, devotees like you are as dear to me as Lord Himself. So devotees are non-different from Krishna. So that's why association of a pure devotee is very much important, because association of devotee is non-different from association of a Krishna. And the devotees also consider me as dear to them as the Lord Himself. So why? So, so this is what Shiva Maitreya is explaining to Mitra. What Shiva is speaking to Prachetas. He says, Rudra says, I am going to give you a powerful mantra. By chanting this mantra, you will get the pure, you will become pure, auspicious, and transcendental. The chanting of which bestows the highest benefit. That's why every mantra is powerful. So no, mantra cannot be powerless. But when the mantra is given by a pure devotee, from the hands of a pure devotee, that mantra becomes a most powerful. So one should become pure, purified, and auspicious. This mantra is very auspicious. So that's why in our almost in this sampradaya, so when initiation is being given, the guru gives the mantra to the disciple. So recently we have seen His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has given initiations. We have seen so many initiations. So taking the mantra from a pure devotee is very much beneficial. That is very much required. That's why initiation from a devotee is required. So with a merciful heart, Shiva spoke to the Prachetas who stood with the folded hands. Now, now Lord Shiva speaks about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, which is nothing but Rudra Gita. So first of all, so any devotee prays the obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our prayers should start with the obeying obeisances to Supreme Personality. So here Shiva pays the obeisances to Chaturvyaha and the presiding deities of the and elements for the purification. So first case, Lord Shiva. So here, Lord Shiva explains about the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Lord, what is the Lord quality? You are the best of the self-realized, since you are always auspicious for the self-realized. So, why Shiva is saying why Shiva is describing the Lord's quality here, so that he can get the auspicious condition. So when we glorify Krishna, the entire atmosphere becomes auspiciousness. The entire situation becomes auspiciousness. You are all worshipable by the virtue of all perfect instructions you give. So how can Krishna be worshipable? By the instructions which Krishna is giving. So where are the instructions mentioned? It is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So following the instructions of the Lord and executing the instructions of the Lord by reading and following the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is the, the stories about the devotees of the Lord, how these instructions are being carried out. How Prahlad Maharaj carried his instructions, how Amrish Maharaj carried the instructions, how Gajendra carried the instructions of Lord Sri Krishna is Srimad Bhagavatam. So these two books are insufficient to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here Shiva is praying because he wants to have a perfection by worshipping you. So he wants to have perfection. Without perfection, one cannot glorify Krishna. So in the next few slokas, he is meditating on the Chaturviha forms. So what are the Chaturviha forms? Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Anirudh Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. So Vasudeva. So let me show you how are these forms look like. So let me show you the form. So this is the form. So they are the four Chaturvyahas: Sankarshana, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna. So these are the forms on which Lord Shiva is meditating currently upon. So first he was meditating upon the all-pervading Vasudeva. So this Vasudeva is the Chitta, Sat Chitananda Vigraha. So the Chitta form of the Krishna is Vasudeva, where supreme consciousness is being he is the controlling deity of the consciousness. So as Vasudeva, he functions as the controller of the senses and the sense objects. So that's what Rudra says. Bhuta Sukshmendriyatmane. So he is the controller of the senses and the sense object. So first of all, we have to control our senses and the sense objects. Then only we can glorify when we can glorify the Krishna and we follow the instructions of the Krishna. Please make my chitta peaceful and unchanging, and make it conscious of bhakti by revealing your beauty. So, by seeing the beauty of this Lord Sri Krishna, when we see the Archa Vigraha of the Krishna, our consciousness become very peaceful. So, just like as we said, our mind should be very peaceful. We are doing so many jobs, so our minds are getting disturbed. So before any spiritual talks, before any spiritual activity, our mind should be very peaceful. That's why on the Vasudeva form, Lord Shiva is meditating upon. So and next he is meditating upon the Sankarshana. As Sankarshana, he is the master of integration. So all the elements are being integrated because of the Sankarshana. So he is a presiding deity of our the false ego or the Hankara. So our identity is being given by Sankarshana. So we all know. So Baladeva is an expansion of Sankarshana. So Guru is an expansion of Sankarshana. So why does Guru come into our life? To show our false ego. What is our real identity? Jivera Sarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. So that is our actual identity. So Sankarshana is a master of integration. So as a master of integration, as a master of creation, so he is also the in charge of master of the destruction. He is also the destroyer of the universe. So by this, Lord Shiva is praying for binding his possessiveness to the Lord and my ego to the true identity. This should be the mode of devotee. So our possessiveness, our ego should be bound to our pure identity as Jivera Sarupoi, Krishnera Nityana. As Pradyumna, he is responsible for universal growth. The growth of the universe, growth of the system is taken care by Pradyumna. So growth happens because of the intelligence. So Pradyumna is a governing deity of our intelligence. So he is enlightened of the universe. So our basically presently our intelligence is dull. So we do not have any spiritual intelligence. So we have to worship Lord Pradyumna so that our spiritual intelligence awakens, and thereby we can situate it in the bhakti. So next he is focusing upon the Aniruddha. He is the supreme director who is controlling the deity of the manas or the mind. So mind is a key element which should be controlled. So he is a as a director of the mind. This is the chief of the senses. So our senses should be controlled, and naturally the master of the senses should be controlled. So Krishna is also called Rishikesha. So Rishikesha and Aniruddha are the master controlling deity of the mind. So attract my mind to the lotus feet of the bhakti. Bhajagure mana Sri Nanda Nandana. So great devotees are talking to their mind. So they are asking, "Oh mind, please be engaged in the service of the Lord Sri Hari." So the Aniruddha is a controlling deity of such a mind, so that we should pray to the Aniruddha so that our mind gets fixed in the and keep it in the perfect state of cleanliness. So where the mind is clean, we can understand our what are we? Cheto Darpana Marjanam, but all those things. So when the mind is clear, we will understand who are we. The process of self-realization will be very favorable. So after purifying the four components of Antakarana, so these are Chitta, Ahankara, Buddhi and Manas. These four Antakarana should be purified. After purifying the four Antakaranas, he offers respect to the Lord in the form of the presiding deities. Now, in the presiding deities of each and every elements, the five gross elements, Panchabhutas. So he is glorifying the presiding deities of the Panchabhutas. In order to purify the five gross elements which constitute the body and external senses. So first he glorifies Surya Dev, Aniruddha's expansion, who is the presiding deity of the eye. So we all require eye to see. So when there is light, we can see. Our eye functions only when there is light, when there is sun. So Surya is the presiding deity of the eye. So constantly nourishes the jiva by rains. So we all know that how does the rain come? Because the cloud showers the water. How does the cloud get the water? It gets the water from the ocean. So this sun takes the water through the process of evaporation and makes it in the cloud and gives us a form of rain. So sun is a main deity where the rains are happening. So without pleasing the sun, the rains cannot happen. So without rain, we are not able to sustain. We do not have any grains to eat. We do not have any plantation to feed upon. So door to the heaven and liberation is also governed by the Surya. So Rudra speaks about because may my eyes be purified to see the form of the Lord. Our eyes are only for seeing the lotus body of the Lord. So that's why our eyes should be purified. So he's praying to Surya so that my eyes get purified and so that I can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead clearly. As Agni, he is the in charge of the speech so that we can engage our speech in the service of Krishna by way of preaching, by talking, chanting. So Kirtanam. So these are the various components by which we can glorify Krishna. So he accomplishes the actions of the four priests and expands the fire of the sacrifice. So though the mind had already been purified, see earlier in the form of Aniruddha, Shiva has asked for to purify the mind, but again in the form of Soma, he is asking to purify the mind. He purifies he again purifies it by offering the respects to the presiding deity of the moon. So because by this it is very clear that mind is very difficult to control. We can control our senses, but controlling our mind is very much difficult. That's why Shiva is taking the help of the Soma and Aniruddha to control his mind. He is the master of the three Vedas. Our mind is controlled only by way of our scriptures. So he is the provider of the Pitrulokas as well as all the Devatas. Soma is a is in charge for Pitrulokas and the Devatas. So please purify my debts. As when we take birth, we get that with so many debts. So Rushi Runa. So Shastra, the Jiva Runa, and so many runas will get it. So many runas. So we have to be very free. We have to be free from the debts. Without freeing from the depths, we cannot go back to Krishna. It's very difficult. So one should clear all the depths in this material world. So we have to pray for to Soma and mind so that our runas gets purified. Please purify my debts to the Pitas, Devatas, sages, and Jivas and completely engage my mind in bhakti. Not only that, we all know the taste of the food is given by moon. So moon is nothing but Soma. So we'll get the taste. So, what taste on what? Taste and so of the sweetness of the holy names. So, presently we do not have the taste of the holy name. Some taste is there. That's why we are doing 16 rounds. Otherwise, we do not take this opportunity to do all the 16 rounds. So, there is some taste. But in order to increase the taste and sweetness, we have to get the taste from the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Somarasa. Also, that we also eat prasadam. We have to offer a nice bhoga to Krishna. So the preparation should be very nice and tasty. But when there is only taste in the fruits and vegetables which we procure, from where does the taste comes? Because of the moon. So we are playing. We should pray for the moon so that nice vegetables, nice tasty vegetables and fruits can be offered to Krishna. As Hiranyagarbha and Virata Rupa, he is an embodiment of the whole material earth. He contains all the souls of all the living beings, all the souls and the elements. So we see he shows the Virata Rupa or he shows the entire material universes in the mouth of the Yashoda. So when we worship the Krishna, so we are as good as worshipping the entire souls. So here Shiva is praying to Krishna so that all the jivas in this material creation gets the benefit of serving Krishna. So stimulate my nose to smell the fragrance of the Lord. So earth is a symbol of smell. So we see when the first rain comes, when the rain falls, we get a nice pleasant smell. We see the smell of a rose or many flowers. Where does the smell come from? The smell comes from the earth. So he is praying, Shiva is praying to Hiranyagarbha and Virata Rupa so that his nose can smell the fragrance of the Lord. So, in essence, he's saying to engage the nose in the service of Krishna. So, to engage the nose also, we need the help of Krishna. Engage my body and everyone's body in the Lord's service. As Vayu, he is the presiding deity of the air. So, we know air passes to all the places. So, there are Panchavayu, five vital airs flowing inside our body. So air flows to all the different locations in different formats. So as the president deity of the air, he is a protector of the three worlds who maintains the mind senses in the body. So he entered the mind senses in the body as Saha, Ojas, and Bala and make them suitable for worshipping the Lord. So Vayu is the presiding deity of the mind senses in the body. So we are taking the help of the Vayu so that all these three senses are being used in the service of God, in the service of Krishna. Manasa, Vacha, and Karmana. So stimulate my touch to feel the softness of the Lord body. So touch is being used to feel the softness of the Krishna's body. As Nava is the ether. So we all know the ether. So when in the space, it is entire all the planets are floating in the ether. So as ether, he is a sustaining element. Also that he is a fire. What sound travels much more faster in the ether. We all know in the science. So ether is the presiding deity of Naba is the presiding deity of the sound. Make my ears hear the beauty of the Lord Krishna. Reveal the meaning. So our sound should be such that it should be very pleasing. The Krishna's words, Krishna's names, Krishna's pastimes, we should understand. So we have to pray to Nava so that we can understand the pastimes of Krishna. The Supreme Personality, ultimately, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, he is the giver of the inspiration of all the reasons. He is the Sarva Karana Karanam. Indirectly saying he is the Krishna is the Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the instigator of the dharmas. Dharmam tu Sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. So he is the instigator of the dharmas. He is the giver of the results of the worship of the Pitrus. He is the giver of the results of everything. He is the giver of result of the irreligious acts as well. When you do irreligious activity, the results also being given by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He is a giver of death and miseries. He is a sanctioner. He has a Paramatma. Upadesha, Upadrusta Anumantacha. So he has a Paramatma inside our heart. He is also he is giving the results, reactions, and when the demons doesn't believe on Krishna, he comes as a form of a death. That is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. I appear to them in the form of a death. So Krishna is the giver of the death and the miseries. He is the topmost of the benedictors. Any benediction, any benediction, moksha, kama, everything. Akama, sarva kama, moksha kama va. So whatever karma, whatever desires we have to go to Krishna. That's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So he is the topmost of the benedictor. The highest benediction which we can receive from Krishna. What is the benediction? Is the association. Association is the best benediction. The mantra which you chant, Hare Krishna mantra, is a benediction. The Shastras which we read is a benediction. The Acharya, the Parampara is a benediction. So we all have already got the benediction. So what benediction extra which we have to get from Shri Krishna is the mercy so that I can serve all these. I can chant the holy names, I can be in association, so that I can read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. He is the Sarvakaranaka, the cause of all causes. He is the greatest of all the religious principles, one whose mind is never checked. So he is the supreme personality. Nobody can check his mind. Nobody can control his mind. He is Avijna Virat. The primeval person. He is a Adipurusha. Brahma says, Rudra says here. He is a master of the Sankhya philosophy. As you know, he's as Kapila Muni. He has given the Sankhya philosophy. Because he is a master of the Sankhya philosophy. I offer my respect to such Krishna. Then he is also glorifying as Lord Shiva. Krishna as the Lord Shiva. He is glorifying, is taking the shelter of the Lord Shiva is himself taking the shelter of himself, of the false ego. As Shiva, he is the reservoir of the three kinds of energies, which are Adidaiva, Adhyatma, and Adibhutika. So as Deva, he is a controller of the Devatas, senses, and all the elements. He is a source of egoism. He is a Rudra. He is a form of knowledge and actions. So may the Lord mercy purify false egoism. So because Krishna Shiva is doing the material activities, so he is governing some mode of ignorance, there is a possibility that he's fearing that he gets a wrong ego, false ego. So he is asking Rudra, he is asking himself so that he understands what he is. He doesn't forget that he is a part and parcel of Krishna. Aham Brahmasmi. So remembering in this way, purifying the body, senses, and the mind by offering respects, Lord Shiva became qualified. Now he prays to see the Lord Krishna. Now he prays to actually seeing the Krishna. Which form of Krishna is now Shiva is saying, how I want Shiva to be looked, how would I want like Krishna want to be seen. So darshanam no didrshanam dehi bhagavatarchitam rupam priyatamam swanam sarvendriya gunajanam. I wish to see you exactly in the form. So which form you are very dear devotee worships. So what form Shiva wants? The form which the devotees like. What is that form which the devotee likes? In the Bhagavad Gita also we have seen the case with the Arjuna. So when the in the 11th chapter when Krishna shows the entire Virata Rupa, what did Arjuna ask? I do not want your Virat Rupa. I do not want your forehand. I want your two-hand Sham Sundara form. So every devotee wants to worship Krishna as the Trivangi Sham Sundara form. So that is the form which Shiva is indirectly quoting here. Only that form liked by the devotees can perfectly satisfy the demands of the senses. So only that form which the devotees likes. When we worship that form, that is what purifies us. So it is a collection of all beauty. The Lord glistens dark like a rain cloud. So when we see that when we see rain falling, before the rain comes, we see the dark black clouds, very beautiful. So such is the beauty of the Lord Sri Krishna. That black beauty is what Shiva is asking. The sum total of all beauty. So Krishna is naturally the so all beautiful, all attractive. So he with four long arms and noble attractive face. The Lord has eyes like a lotus petal. Namah Pankaj Navaya, Namah Pankaj Malini, Namah Pankaj Netraya. We sing at the start of every lecture. The fine teeth and forehead and well proportionated, decorated ears. So that is it's a decorated form. So we see that it's not any Nirakara form. There are so many things, so many people say that God is Nirakara, formless, all those things. So Shiva is meditating upon a form which is dark like a cloud, is beautiful. So all this qualify where the Lord has a form. Without having a form, one cannot have a beautiful face or all those things. The Lord's joyful glance indicates his affection. For a, so if you see the face should be very glancy. It should be very attractive. So such is the quality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His beauty is enhanced by his curling hair. You can see the curly hair. His cloth glows like a molten lotus pollen. His wears glittering earrings, necklets, and belt. His beauty is increased by corns, Sankha, Chakra, Gadadhara. The Lord's shoulder and chest is like a lion. The Lord's lion-like shoulders glitter with a reflection. We can see that the entire description of the all the elements on the Krishna's body and Vishnu's body. Kaustuva jewel beautifies his neck, his chest glowing with the mark of an impressed Lakshmi. So, in essence, what happens here is, as Radhanath, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj says, Bhakti means attention to detail. Bhakti means attention to every detail of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The way we put the flower, the way we offer the incense, the way we do arti, is very should be very detailed watched by supreme sorry, by devotees. One should be very careful about that. So as we all know in that the Bhishma Parva, when Bhishma is on the deathbed, how does Bhishma glorify supreme personality of God at Krishna? Kavacha Kundala, sorry, all the kundal, so the shark kundal. So how that this upper garment is flowing because when he jumped, the entire perspiration which he was described, it was attention to detail. So every devotee before glory, they are paying very much attention to every detail of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by this we should understand what we all should we all should also pay attention to the end and by way we worship the Supreme Personality of God. Each and every way, the way we chant, the way we do services, the way we do offer arati, we should pay very attention. The Lord's navel and belly, the lines on his abdomen, beautifully move with his inhaling and exhaling. See how uh, graphically Shiva is explaining the movement of the navel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The universe sprouted from his deep, willed navel and wishes to go back. So all the we all know that when the lotus navel, Lord Brahma has come from it, entire creation has come out. The Lord's lower body. He has especially attractive black hips covered with cloth and enclosed by a belt. He is elegant with symmetrical feet and calves, thighs and knees. So Lord Shiva has thus described the bodily features of the Lord authoritatively. So it is very authoritative because We all know Shiva is also leading an authoritative Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya. Now he wants to see the lotus, not only that, the 12 Mahajans. So, Mahajana Yena Saga Pantaha. So, we all should hear, follow the words of the or the Mahajanas. So, Shiva is one of the Mahajans, and Shiva's statements are very authoritative. And all the description given of the Supreme Personality is very authoritative. So, your two lotus feet are so beautiful as two autumn lotus petals. So, here everything is being glorified, equated with the lotus petals. So, lotus flowers. So, the nails are also the lotus petals of the lotus and dissipate the darkness in the heart by effulgence of their toenails. Kindly show me that form of yours which dissipate darkness in the heart of a devotee. So, entire even we are by this we and now we by now we would understood that Shiva is also meditating on a form of the God, which is nothing but the Shyama Sundara. Oh Guru, you are the teacher of the bhakti for us who are covered in ignorance. So Krishna is asking, he is referring Krishna as a Guru. So he is the Guru of all. He is a Adi Guru. The result of the meditation on what happens on the when meditating on this form, one who desires purification should meditate on this form. That's why in our almost any all the wonderful sampradaya, worship of Archa Vigraha. So daily doing Mangalarti, paying attention to detail, and garlanding, and doing the deity dressing. So all this, when we do, our consciousness get purified. So when our consciousness get purified, devotion to this form gives the freedom from fear of death. Swalpam asya trayato mahato bhaya. So when we do small service like this, the greatest of the danger of fear of death is also lost, even to those practicing varnashrama duties. So then Shiva explains that bhakti is the topmost. Shiva is also confirmed that bhakti is a, in the Bhagavad Gita we have seen bhakti is the supreme. Krishna says, Shiva says the bhakti is the supreme. So you are easily attained by your devotees. So many people are trying to attain. So jnanis, karmis, all those things, Ashtanga yogis, they are trying to attain the supreme personality of Godhead. Even the materialists are indirectly are trying to attain the supreme personality of Godhead. But only the devotees can attain, but nobody else can do. But rarely attained by any other living being. Even Indra and Brahma desires you. So all the demigods, devatas are also designing the supreme personality of Godhead. You are the ultimate destination of the Kumaras and other nodes of the Atma. He is the Paramagati, Paramdhama. So even Arjuna confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is a Paramdhama. He is the ultimate destination for everything. So what is the rarity of bhakti is being explained by Shiva here. So worshipping you is very difficult. Even for the liberated souls, it is possible only by pure devotional service. So worshipping Supreme Personality of Godhead is not easy. It's very difficult even for the liberated. But it can be achieved only by the devotional service, which is very rare. Samahatma Sadurlabaha. So what we are doing, so whatever activities we are doing is very rare. It is not easy task. Chanting 16 rounds in the morning, Brahma Muhurta. Is it easy? It's not so easy to do that. So we are doing that because it's very rare. So such rare thing we should not let go by any chance. So we get so many problems in our life, so many distresses happening, so many difficult situations come. But whatever the case may be, we should not lose this opportunity. Therefore, who would desire Swarga, which is devoid of your lotus feet? Even Swarga is very menial compared to lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So why time or death cannot touch a devotee? So only time works on the material world. Time doesn't work in the spiritual world. So when a devotee is doing the devotional activities, devotees are in the spiritual platform. So that's naturally time doesn't work on these devotees. Invincible time personified cannot approach a soul surrender unto your lotus feet. So time in the form of a death. So in the form of time, everything is taken away. Our relations are taken away, our identity is taken away, our body is taken away, our material possessions are taken away. But for a devotee, what is the identification? Jivera Sarupahai, Krishna Nityadas. It's eternal identity. That cannot be taken at any time of a death. But that time vanquishes the entire universe simply by expansion, by of his eyebrows. So when the Krishna raises his eyebrows, the entire material universe is destroyed. The power of devotees association, even half a moment of association. We all know Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So we get the entire benefits by only a fraction of a second of the association of the devotees. With such a devotee cannot be compared to Swarga. The association of devotee is much more higher than Swarga or liberation. So even Adi Shankaracharya in Bhajagovindam says, Satsangatve Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatvam, Nischalatve Jivan Mukti. By fraction of association of the devotees association, so we'll get the liberation. Bilava Mangal Thakur says, when we do bhakti, the liberation is at the doorstep waiting for his service. So the devotees association is very rare and foremost important thing. I think in one of the lecture, His Grace Amarendra Prabhu says, so we all have five things to do. Panch Anga. So devotee association, the devotees association, chanting of the holy names, all those things are compared to the five fingers. But devotee association is the thumb. Without thumb, one cannot execute all the four activities. They become weak. So tongue is the strongest element, supporting element of the four things. So that's why association is compared to the thumb. Without this association, even when we do the bhakti, doesn't last for long. Take it, please. Okay. So one who prays in this way will achieve devotees association. The way Krishna Shiva is praying, when we pray like that, the next what is this Rudra Gita is saying, when we do all these things, we'll get the association of the devotees. Association with the devotees is your real mercy. Therefore, please give me the association of your devotees. We all have to pray for the association. We all got the association of the Gachibowli Satsang and so many other associations. Don't lose this association. Association is the only remedy for every problem which we have. So completely purified by the famous Ganga arising from your lotus feet. Are and compassion. Devotees are the only compassionate people. Don't have any other people we can take shelter of. Only devotee association. Have proper conduct and pure heart. We all require purity, but only in the association will get that purity. Such association is your real mercy. A devotee is unagitated and absorbed. See, a devotee is always, his mind is very calm because he doesn't have any material desires. A devotee's heart, which is purified by bhakti, is never agitated by the objects of the external energy, which is like a dark well. Having, sorry for the inconvenience. So, having been blessed by Bhakti Devi, he understands very easily the Lord's names, fame, and activities. But only by mercy of the Bhakti Devi, Tulsi Maharani, we can get this Bhakti. However, some sages see your form as a Brahman, but that is you. So Brahman is an effulgence of Supreme Personality of Godhead. We see in the Ishopanishad where a devotee asks to remove the light so that I can see the face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So next, Lord Shiva prays for the relationship between the Lord and the material creation. As Brahman, he is the all-pervading Brahman in which the entire universe is manifested. Aham Brahmasmi. So entire creation is the Brahman, where all the part and parcels reside. So then he describes about the relation between the Lord, Jiva, and Maya. So you create. Krishna is a creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this universe by the way of Maya. by your Maya, which cannot bewilder you. So Maya cannot bewilder Krishna. Some Maya philosophers say Krishna is also in the Maya. Krishna is forgot that we all forgot that we are gods. So because of the Maya, this is the Maya of the philosophy. But Maya cannot conquer Krishna. Maya Dakshina Prakriti. Even Krishna says. In fact, Krishna says that Maya is under control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But living entities who are bewildered Maya may think that this universe is separated from Krishna. So, jivas who are under the control of the Maya think we think that this material world is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is Abhigya Swaraj, he is independent. Now, Shiva explains about the universal form. Your universal form consists of all the five elements: the senses, mind, intelligence, false ego, and Paramatma. The Karma Yogis and Jnana Yogis worship you by their respective actions, by way of actions, karma. So, as Mahavishnu, you are the original person endowed with the sleeping energy. When that material energy, with this Mahavishnu in the form of Sankarsana, Aniruddha, and Dika is the controlling deity of the three modes of the material nature. And as a result, the total material energy manifests. So, this material world is created to give the facility to material living. This material world is only a training activity. So, where we will trained on bhakti. When we are successful on bhakti, we will be taken back to Goloka. It is just like a mother giving the toys. We all know this analogy. As a mother gives the actual playthings, actual stove to the young daughter. So instead, she gives a small toy set to play upon. So when she is qualified, she will get a real stove. A child's play lasts for few hours, and the living entity plays last for many lifetimes. As a Paramatma, after creation as a Paramatma, you enter into four types of the forms. So what are the four types of the forms which Rudra is speaking about? The embryo, the egg, the perspiration, and the seeds. So these are the four ways which a soul gets a body. As an embryo, as an egg, as a perspiration, as a seed. So whatever way the jiva comes out, the as a Paramatma, Supreme Personality of Godhead is accompanying them. Regardless how these living entities appear, they are all busy. So all the living entities in this material world are busy for sense enjoyment. This sense enjoyment is very easily achievable for the low animal species. The human body is not for the sense enjoyment, rather it is for self realization. So we all know, we all had in the SSR that dharmena hina pasuhi samana. Without dharma, we are all a human being is nothing but an animal. Dvipada pashuhu. So as dharma, what is our dharma? We should know who we are, self realized. Human society is like a beehive. So just like Srila Prabhupada here mentions that our society, human society is like a beehive. So when there is a chance, the bees fight for the honey. They fight against each other for to get the honeycomb or the honey nectar. So just like that, in the material world, people are fighting each other to get the property, name, fame, all the things. So this human society like a beehive, they are always suffering by fighting each other. As a time factor, the Rudra says you are at the time factor. As time causes everything to be destroyed, just like as one animal is devoured by eaten by one animal. So just like as a frog is eaten by snake, snake is eaten by hawk, and hawk is eaten by something else. So this is a food chain. So time destroys one after the other. Time scatters everything. You are the time. So by time we separate each other. Our families separate each other. We go into different places. As the wind scatters the cloud in the sky, we see the clouds. When the wind comes, the clouds move here and there. Time suddenly strikes a greedy person. So when we are grossly engaged in the material pursuits, we do not know when death comes. As a snake seizes the mouse and every easily. So Kalasarpa we say. So when the time comes, all the positions will be devoured by the time. So he is glorifying Krishna in the form of a time. So as I worship your lotus feet, what intelligent person would reject your word? If we are an intelligent person, we should not. leave the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Hari, which Brahma even worshipped. We say Brahma Kadigina Vadam. So Brahma even worshipped out of fear in the Brahma Vimohan Leela. So that he can be saved from the death. All of 14 Manus also worshipped it, so that they get the strong faith. So if we are intelligent, we should not leave the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Hari. In summary, you are the goal. Shiva is saying, you are the goal of the wisest people. That's it. Only the Jnana one can know understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you are the death for the ignorant. One who doesn't understand you, you come as a form of a death. So what happens when we read this Rudra Gita? What is the Falastuti? Even Lord, if anything we do, we have the Falastuti, Gajendra Moksha, all these things. Vishnu Sahasranama, we see there is a Falastuti. So, what is the result of reciting this Rudra Gita every day? How to chant the Rudra Gita to achieve auspicious? So Shiva is saying how to chant this mantra. Chant this prayer. My dear Prachetas, perform your prescribed duties. So he is asking, we all have to do our own prescribed duties with pure heart, with Nishkama Bhakti. Offering our minds to Lord. So offer our fruits to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chant this prayer. So by doing our activities in the mode of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to do this chanting. Perform your prescribed duty. This statement is indicated because Prachetas had Karma Mishra Bhakti. So we are all Karma Mishra Bhaktas like Prachetas. We all have to do our prescribed duties at the same time offer our results to Supreme Personality. So worship the Lord. Lord Hari is in everyone's heart. Chant his glories, meditate upon him, and worship him in the form of Paramatma. So what is the method of worshiping him? Study it. Study the Supreme Rudra Gita, study the Bhagavatam, study Bhagavad Gita. Contemplate. So not just reading, but we have to contemplate. Whatever we read, we have to contemplate ourselves. Being strong to our woes, follow the four regulative principles. Concentrating your intelligence. So our mind, Ekaha Kurunandana. You should all chant this prayer repeatedly with great respect. So chanting Rudra Gita, chanting Hare Krishna mantra should be done in this mode. The origin of Rudra Gita, Rudra says, Rudra Gita was taught by Brahma and ordered by him by all to the progeny. So this should be distributed. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam should be distributed worldwide across. That is what Shiva is also indirectly hinting. So this chanting of the holy name should not be restricted, should be properly propagated. The Falastuti, one becomes a devotee. By reciting this Rudra Gita, one can become a devotee. One attains the highest benefit of becoming the devotee of the Lord. Just to praise the knowledge, Lord Shiva says, Jnana. So Jnana is also important. Just to praise about the Jnana. So not all are devotees. Some want Jnana. So even for the people, of all the auspicious items in the world, knowledge is the supremely auspicious. It can cross off. What kind of Jnana? Bhagavad Gita. That is Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam. That's the king of all knowledges. So we can understand Bhagavad Gita. However, knowledge gives more difficulties. So His Grace Amarendra Prabhu says, so we acquire knowledge. So what happens? This knowledge sits in our mind. Then our head weight increases. So by way of service, the the knowledge in our head should go into our heart. So then that comes out as a service. So knowledge, when it sits in our head, it creates difficulties, increases pride, and is not suitable as a boat to cross the samsara. So by reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavata, if you are becoming pride, such knowledge is also becomes useless. Bhakti, vibrating this song with faith, one can please Lord with the who is rarely conquered. So pleasing Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. So when Lord is pleased, that is Bhakti. So by reciting this Rudra Gita, so even Lord Sri Vishnu, Lord Vishnu is also Lord, Lord Vishnu gets happy and we get the Bhakti. Anything desirable, any steady person attains the best of the whatever he desires. So whatever we want can be easily be achieved by reading this Rudra Gita. Freedom from bondage, hearing these prayers early in the morning. So I thank every one of you I thank His Grace Lilananda Prabhu and His Grace Her Grace Shilpa Mata for giving me an opportunity on this Ekadasi day on the morning to chant the Supreme Rudra Gita. So we all are fortunate to hear as well. So hearing these prayers in the early morning and letting other ears them certainly free from all bondages of karma. Equivalent to austerity. Recite these prayers with concentration, which are as effective as great austerity. This is none other than austerities, and in the end, you will achieve your desired result. As a devotee, our desire is to chant the holy names properly, to engage in the Krishna service, to go back to Godhead. That should be our motto. That is our idea when we chant this Sutra Gita. You will attain your desired results. Indicate that they means even Prachita had some material desires. We also had material desires that can also be fulfilled. Hari. I think I know that I have went very fast. I touched upon and a different on the top layer. It's like watching a mountain at from a distance. Watching from a mountain, we cannot see. We can see only few trees over there, but we have to dive into that hill so that we can understand each and everything. I suggest every one of you to go back and read this Rudra Gita on this auspicious day of Ekadasi. We have seen the Palastuti. We'll get whatever we get. We get the moksha. We can anything. Hare Krishna. Please forgive me if I have committed any mistake. Please forgive me to not speaking so many details from it. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Leland Prabhu, Praveen Prabhu, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. It's Ekadashi. It's also such an auspicious time just after Dasara. Very grateful. Sorry, I joined a little late. Was literally tired after yesterday's journey back from Srisalem. But so happy to start by hearing Rudra Gita. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving us this opportunity. So, any other questions? I know it's an working day. So, if there are no questions, we can end up here. We can take one or two questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Very
Giriraj
nice.
Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam.
So, Prabhu, this one 4.23, which chapter, Prabhu?
424. 4.24.
The group message I have seen 4.23.
It was
What?
mistaken type. It's 20.
So, Prabhu, can you open that Subhadri once? Just to have some
Summary.
Yeah, that last page. The
Yes,
fourth point in Prabhuji. 4 note.
fourth note. Sarva sound.
What is
I think it's a fourth earlier. Fourth verse somewhere. Sloka it was given.
Oh, you can click that fourth one. Possible.
Somewhere here. Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. The sum total of all beauty.
45th one, something.
So 45th verse, second line.
Thank you very much. Prabhuji.
So indicates that Lord Krishna contains all the beauties in the material spiritual. It also indicates Lord gives more credit to his devotees than he takes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So,
Thank you.
Yes, bro.
Thank you for going through this. Subodhini Jayapur.
So I think we can end the session over here. Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class. Thank you.
Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa
Thank
Sindhu
you.
the 40 Vaishnava की जय रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय ट्रांसडेंटल बुक श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद
की जय.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam.